was walking out of the gym there, and I had to laugh because I noticed a couple of people taking selfies, you know, to note their accomplishment, and it's good to celebrate those things. For me, I stopped taking selfies a long time ago and traded that in for taking pictures of, and I'll post a couple here. I'll post one about an orb I took a video of the other day. What got me focused on the sky is that a long time ago I started having experiences that I couldn't explain. And at that time I was asking big questions about life. I've always had a great connection to God, but at that time was looking to make connections and ties to some of the pieces that in my understanding were missing. And so I wanted to know, where we came from ultimately, what the meaning of life is, what happens after this. Are there aliens, or is there life out there beyond just this? And if you ask big questions, you will get answers. When you ask God something, the answer is yes. It might take it's not going to come to you in the yes form that you might expect it. So you have to be patient, and you just have to know that He's going to give you the answer. So I began to get answers, and as part of the questions that I asked, those answers were yes, that we are not alone, that we are infinite, that we are eternal, and that we do have galactic origins. There is the Adam and Eve story, but there's there's more to it than that. And we have a cosmic family. We come from somewhere, and part of our being here and our genetics here have a story in that galactic family that is out there. And they're here now. They're here in a big way because the Earth is going through some major changes. And you might be aware of those. Just turn on the news. We're going through sort of a birth pain kind of process, growing pain. We're losing a lot of the ego identity, and we're being introduced to a higher vibration, a higher state of consciousness. And that's connected to literally the light, the sun, and where we are in our solar system, inside of this Milky Way galaxy on our traversal. Everything's tied together, and that galactic family that we have out there, and the things that I've been shown lately have affirmed that. And your journey here makes a difference, because yes, it is about you. It is about your soul development and your spiritual development. But that soul development, spiritual development, and what that basically means is letting go of the ego, or recognizing that you do have this thing called the ego. And it is something that says you're separate, we're separate, I'm separate, there's I, and then there's everybody else, right? Well, that's what the ego wants us to believe. It's a survival mechanism. And it exists that way so that we can get what we need, we can accomplish the things that we have to accomplish to basically feed ourselves. But that paradigm is long gone, and that need for that sort of egoic understanding is long gone. And so as that releases, as that me and everybody else releases, that's a painful process, because it's a process that involves what we think is our identity, the things that we make ourselves here in the world. And nothing that you make, or nothing that you collect, nothing that you have here in this world goes with you. They're all teaching tools. Everything here is a lesson. Every relationship that you have is a lesson. Everything that you acquire that you somehow feel better for at the time, that eventually wears off, and its newness, its shininess goes away, and something bigger and better is needed to replace it. It doesn't satisfy, because you are an infinite eternal being literally connected to God, and so is everyone and everything else, especially our cosmic cousins that are here to help in the sort of facilitation of this process, because they're ready to reveal themselves. where part of this is going. And it's been a long time coming that we've been seeded with the idea that there are aliens out there. They're really just, again, part of us, part of a genetic lineage. The ego, when you start to recognize it for what it is, it loses control over you. And that means that the identity of, well, this is I, this is me, and that's everything else, that those lines start to blur. And you start to realize that you are everything else, and that everything else is you. We're all part of this one entire beautiful thing called the Earth, called space, called the solar system, called the Milky Way galaxy, called every other galaxy out there, every other universe out there. Yes, there's more than one. All made by this being that we call God, and or whatever you want to call God. But God is you, and Jesus is you, and the angels are you, and they are all here because they love you. And that's the ultimate truth about it, is that God is love, and that love filters on down to you and through you. And the ego would have you be separate from that love, because love is connecting, and the ego needs to be separate to survive, because that's what it's programmed for us to do. So when we start to lose that ego identity, love starts to show up in a big way. We start to understand in truth love unconditional. And that, I think, a lot of us haven't experienced. And I'll just say that I certainly had my time where I didn't. And I thought that love meant you had to perform, you had to do things in order to gain basically attention and affection. And that's not what love is, but that's what we're going through as, I think, planetarily letting go of. The understanding that love is supposed to be unconditional, and the love that comes from the Father that we're all part of, God, it is unconditional. And so it doesn't matter who you are. He doesn't care about identities. And so as the ego starts to release, or you start to recognize the ego and integrate it, you start to have to really question, well, who am I? And the truth is, you are everything. You're everyone. You are a spirit having a physical experience. You're a soul, spirit, mind, body, human being. You're having a beautiful experience to learn, to grow, to gain wisdom, to deposit that wisdom into the soul, which is a repository of the collective wisdom of all your lifetimes and all the lifetimes of every living thing around us, and everything is alive, by the way. Unconditional love says that you can look on everything with the eyes of love and not have to change it, not have to try to make it different. Definitely don't try to fix it. Never try to fix anybody. They have to fix themselves. And when you start to understand that, you start to let go of who you are in this world, and you start to look at everything through the eyes of love, and you start to understand that life takes on all kinds of forms, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. And through this journey, I'll just tell you, number one, aliens are real. I've had so many encounters that I didn't even realize at the time. But life comes in all kind of different forms. Here, we get hung up on skin color here in this world, which is crazy. But skin color and ear shape and nose shape and various subtleties like that for our cosmic cousins, to head size and things like that, they don't matter. And so when they do show up, and this is going to happen, just know that you're looking at yourself. You're looking at a version of you from your star family. And when you're ready, they will start to show up. And they love unconditional too. And just like, well, I won't go into that, but know that there are beings here to help right now, and they are ready to show up, and they're ready to make a introduction. And I just know that because I get a ton of communication, and they are around me all the time. And you are part of a galactic family. You are part of God, and you are eternal, and you are infinite, and this lifetime is so short. And to keep yourself separate from everything and everyone, trying to make yourself something in this world that doesn't go with you, your title, your accomplishments, your achievements here don't go with you. How well you are able to see other people through the eyes of love, how well you're able to let things go and love people exactly for who they are, where they are, as weird as they may be or as normal as they may be to you. That's what matters. And so as you go about your days and as you go about this life experience from here forward, know that you're not alone in this universe. And how you connect with yourself and with everyone else matters, and how you are able to see and connect with life in all kinds of different forms. There is a whole unseen realm. If you go to church and you believe in God, well, prove that He's there. He is, by the way. My point is, there's a lot of things that we can't see that just because visually we don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. They want to communicate with you. And one of the things that started the communication process for me long ago when I was praying and asking God, are we alone, etc., was I would look up at the sky and I would just ask, if you're there, show me. And I started getting flashes of light. And that was the beginning of an incredible journey. I have videos and photos for days of UFOs, because one of my favorite things to do is not come out of the gym and take selfies, which is not bad. Celebrate yourself, but it's to take pictures of the sky. And when you do that, the whole world will start to open up to you. So if you're curious, don't be afraid to look up and talk to our friends up there, because they are friends. They're here to help, and they're here to show us a higher existence, a higher way of being, free energy. All of those things that we work and labor and strive for so much, food, energy, just the basics to survive, that keeps us trapped in this lower kind of mind state where we're on this hustle. And that puts us in a fight or flight, low state fight or flight mode. And so we are out of our higher consciousness, our frontal cortex, and it keeps us trapped in a way. And so when you look up and you start to have these conversations and you get out of the world and you notice things in the clouds that just don't seem like they're natural, it's because they're not, and it's because you're getting communication back. And you'll develop your senses ultimately, if that's what you want to do, your sixth senses, clairaudience, clairsentience, all of the clairs, C-L-A-I-R. Go to Wikipedia and look up the clairs. Most of mine are open and have been for a long time. And it's not something I talk about often, but it's something that I experience in communication on a daily basis. I see ghosts. I have angels are very, very real. I'll just tell you that right now. I get communication from our friends up there often, and it's usually guidance. I usually have to ask. They're not invasive. They're not intrusive. They want to help, and I always weigh that guidance out. I always weigh the feedback out, and if it's positive, if it feels right for me, I'll follow it. But they've never steered me wrong. So know that God loves you unconditionally, and the ego wants to keep you separate. When you recognize that, you start to understand that you are a divinely created, infinite, eternal being who does not die, and you have nothing to fear. And the only true reality of this existence and any existence anywhere on any timeline in any dimension is love. And your ability to express that and allow that love to flow through you is really what your purpose is totality of all of your lives. And just know that you are loved unconditionally. There's nothing that you have to do from now until the day that you check out of here that is going to add to you or subtract from you. It doesn't matter what people say about you. It doesn't matter what you accomplish. It doesn't matter what you achieve. That's great, but everything is a teaching tool. It's a lesson. Earth is a big, giant classroom, and it's here to teach us ultimately to develop that soul and spirit and the wisdom that we gain here in the understanding of love, and that we are loved beyond compare, loved without measure, loved no matter what you've done, no matter what you will do. God knows about it, and through His Son Jesus, you have been forgiven. And so you can forgive yourself. You can unpack and unburden your shame and guilt and all the heaviness that we carry for all those things that we have done and even will do that we're not proud of. God sees that, knows it, and forgives us and loves us. And that's what He wants for us to do to others, because when you do that, you make the cycle complete. And it's His way of bringing everybody home, because that's all He wants. He just wants for us to realize who we are and to recognize that and to love each other and help each other all hand in hand come back home to love. I love you. I hope this helps. Look up at the skies. Our friends are here, and they're here to help.